Honesty is the best policy. You have heard this since the day you were born. It was carved into your mind by parents, teachers, and a society that rewards the obedient. You were taught that if you are transparent, people will trust you. You were taught that if you show your heart, the world will treat it with care. It is a beautiful, dangerous lie. Look at your life. Think about the moments you were truly, purely honest. When you shared your deepest ambitions with a friend, only to watch them subtly discourage you. When you confessed a weakness to a partner, only to have it weaponized against you during an argument months later. When you told your boss exactly what you thought of the company, only to see your name skipped during the next promotion. The world does not reward honesty. The world exploits it. Niccolò Machiavelli, the architect of cold reality, understood a truth that most are too afraid to speak. Honesty is not a virtue. In the arena of power, honesty is a leak. It is a hole in your fortress. Every time you are honest, you are handing out free intelligence to potential rivals. You are giving them a map of your mind, a list of your fears, and a blueprint of your next move. The men who reach the top, the titans of industry, the master politicians, the men who command respect in every room they enter, they are never open books. They are riddles. They understand that the moment you become predictable, you become manageable. And the moment you become manageable, you are no longer in power. But here is the secret the average person will never understand. To be powerful, you must not look like a liar. A liar is untrusted and watched closely. No, the true master wears the invisible mask. The invisible mask is the art of appearing honest while remaining entirely cryptic. It is the ability to project a surface of sincerity that is so convincing, no one even thinks to look underneath. Most people think the opposite of honesty is lying. It isn't. The opposite of honesty is strategy. In this video, we are going to strip away the nice guy conditioning that has been holding you back. We are going to explore why your transparency is the very thing keeping you weak. We will break down the mechanics of the invisible mask and show you how to use fake honesty to protect your real objectives. If you are looking for motivation, look elsewhere. If you are looking for someone to tell you that being a good, honest man is enough to win, you are in the wrong place. But if you are ready to stop being a target and start becoming an architect, stay. Because the first lesson of power is simple. The more they think they know you, the less power you actually have. The greatest mistake of the modern man is the belief that being yourself is a strategy. It is not. It is a surrender. When you act without a filter, you are not being authentic. You are being undisciplined. You are allowing your raw emotions, your temporary doubts, and your unpolished thoughts to dictate your public image. Niccolò Machiavelli observed that the masses are always taken by appearances. He wrote, "Men in general judge more by the eyes than by the hands." This means people do not care about your honor truth. They care about the version of you that they see. If you do not consciously build that version, the world will build it for you. And they will build it to serve their interests, not yours. This is where the invisible mask becomes your primary tool of defense. To build the mask, you must first understand the cost of transparency. Every time you share a piece of information about yourself, you are losing a piece of your leverage. Information is like currency. Once you spend it, it is gone. If you tell people your problems, you give them a way to pity you. If you tell them your joys, you give them a reason to envy you. If you tell them your plans, you give them the chance to stop you. The mask is not about being a fake person. It is about being a contained person. It is a psychological firewall between your private mind and your public face. Think of your mind as a high-security vault. In the center is your true self, your ultimate goals, your deepest fears, and your specific strategies. Most people leave the door to this vault wide open. They want the relief of being understood. They want someone to tell them they are doing a good job. This need for external validation is a chain around your neck. The moment you seek someone's approval, you have given them power over you. The architect of the mask operates differently. He gives the world a decoy truth. This is the secret of strategic honesty. To remain cryptic, you must appear to be open. If you are silent and mysterious all the time, people will become suspicious. They will watch you. They will try to dig deeper. Instead, you must feed them safe information. Tell them about your minor hobbies. Talk about a small, inconsequential mistake you made at the gym. Complain about the weather or a trivial news story. When you give people these small, harmless pieces of yourself, their brain checks a box. They think, I know this man. He is open. He is honest. By giving them the small talk they crave, you satisfy their curiosity. You make them feel comfortable. And while they are focused on the harmless details you have fed them, they completely miss the massive moves you are making in the dark. This is the architecture of the mask, a surface of total accessibility, protecting a core of absolute privacy. You are not lying, you are simply managing the flow of intelligence. You are ensuring that when you finally strike, when you finally achieve your goal, no one saw it coming. Because they were too busy looking at the mask you let them see. The professional world is a modern battlefield. In this arena, honesty is often marketed as a sign of being a team player, but in reality, it is the fastest way to sabotage your own career. Corporate culture encourages you to be transparent, to share your feedback, and to disclose your weaknesses so they can help you. This is a trap. In the corporate world, help is often just another word for control. Machiavelli observed that a wise man must always look at the true intentions of those around him. In your workplace, every colleague is a potential rival. When you become honest and tell your boss that you are bored with your role, or that you plan to start your own business in 2 years, you aren't giving them honesty. You are giving them a reason to find your replacement. You have weakened your position because you let your internal truth leak out. To win in this arena, you must master the art of tactical vulnerability. This means showing a weakness that doesn't actually hurt you. Human beings are naturally envious of those who appear too perfect or too capable. If you project an image of absolute perfection, people will fear you and conspire against you. Instead, you must feed them harmless bits of honesty. Share a story about a minor mistake you made on an old project, or mention a trivial struggle, like trying to stay consistent at the gym. When you share these small, inconsequential details, people check a box in their minds. They think, is open, he is relatable, he is honest. By satisfying their hunger for the real you, with these harmless decoys you create a smokescreen. Behind this screen, your real moves remain invisible. When you finally position yourself for a promotion or secure a high-value deal, it catches everyone off guard. They were too busy focusing on the honest person you allowed them to see. Another fatal mistake is sharing your true opinions on internal politics. When someone asks what you really think about a company policy or a specific manager, being honest is professional suicide. Your words will be used as ammunition. A powerful man never reveals his true likes or dislikes unless it serves a strategic purpose. He speaks the language of the moment, not the language of his heart. Remember, your goal in the workplace is not to be loved or even to be known. Your goal is to be indispensable. And you become indispensable by maintaining a gap between your public performance and your private strategy. Transparency makes you replaceable. The invisible mask makes you an enigma, someone they cannot control, someone they cannot predict, and someone they must eventually respect. We are taught that our social circle, our friends and our extended family, is a safe haven where we can finally take off the mask. We believe that these are the people who deserve our total honesty. But if you look closely at human behavior, you will see that the social circle is often the most sophisticated suppression system in your life. It operates on a principle called homeostasis. In biology, homeostasis is the state of steady internal conditions. In a social group, it is the invisible pressure to keep everyone in their assigned roles. If you were the funny guy, the quiet one, or the failure, the group has a vested interest in keeping you that way. Your growth is a threat to their comfort. When you start becoming more successful, more disciplined, or more powerful, it forces them to look at their own stagnation. This is why honesty in your social circle is so dangerous. When you are honest about your new ambitions or your changing mindset, you aren't seeking support. You are issuing a challenge. Without realizing it, your friends will begin to sabotage you. They won't do it with open hostility. They will do it with concern. They will remind you of your past failures. They will tell you to be realistic. They will use the honesty you gave them in the past as a weapon to keep you in the cage of your old identity. Machiavelli understood that a leader must be great pretender and dissembler. In your social life, the invisible mask serves as a shield against the envy of your peers. To maintain your power, you must adopt the strategy of the common face. Even as your internal world transforms, even as you build wealth and discipline in secret, you must project an image of sameness to those around you. If they are complaining about their jobs, nod and agree that life is tough. If they are talking about trivial gossip, participate just enough to seem normal. Do not walk into a room of old friends and announce that you have changed. Do not tell them about the dark psychology you are studying or the ruthless career moves you are making. If you do, you trigger their defense mechanisms. They will label you as arrogant or fake, and they will begin to work against you behind your back. By withholding your true evolution, you prevent them from forming a resistance. You allow them to feel superior or equal to you, which keeps them relaxed and unthreatened. While they believe they know exactly who you are operating on a completely different level of reality. Power is not about being recognized as powerful. It is about having the freedom to act without interference. The moment you are honest with people who are not on your path, you invite their interference. You give them a vote in your life. Mastery is realizing that you do not owe anyone the real you. You owe them the version of you that keeps the peace, while your true self remains miles away, focused on the conquest. Niccolò Machiavelli famously wrote in The Prince, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." He understood that the masses do not have the time or the intellect to investigate your soul. They judge based on the surface. Therefore, the most dangerous weapon a man can possess is a reputation for honesty. If you look at history's most dominant figures, they were rarely seen as leaders. Instead, they were seen as men of integrity. This was not because they were actually honest, but because they understood that a reputation for integrity is the perfect camouflage for ruthless action. When you have convinced the world that you are a man of your word, you can commit the most calculated betrayals, and no one will believe you were capable of them. They will blame circumstances, they will blame others, but they will never blame you. Consider the rise of the Medici family in Renaissance Florence. Cosimo de' Medici did not rule by shouting his power from the rooftops. He did not tell everyone his true financial worth or his secret political alliances. Instead, he lived with calculated modesty. He dressed simply. He spoke with apparent sincerity and humility. He allowed everyone to think he was just another citizen serving the state. Because he appeared so honest and unambitious, his rivals underestimated him. They allowed him to place his allies in key positions. They shared their secrets with him, thinking he was a safe confidant. By the time they realized that Cosimo owned the city's banks, the papacy, and the government, it was too late. He had used the mask of a simple, honest man to build an untouchable empire. If he had been transparent about his ambitions from the start, the other powerful families of Florence would have united to destroy him instantly. This is the law of appearance. You must cultivate a persona that is beyond reproach. You must be the one who arrives on time, who speaks politely, and who seems to have nothing to hide. You must defend your reputation for integrity with your life, not because integrity is a moral necessity, but because it is a strategic one. When you are honest about small, unimportant things, you buy the credit you need to be cryptic about the big things. If you always pay back a small loan, people will trust you with a huge one. If you always tell the truth about minor office gossip, people will believe you when you lie about a major project failure. Machiavelli noted that a prince must often act against humanity and religion to survive, but he must always look as though he is the most religious and humane man in the room. This is the ultimate execution of the invisible mask. You are not a dishonest person. You are a person who understands that the truth is a high-level clearance item. It is not for everyone. You treat the public with the honesty they can handle, while you keep the cold, hard reality for yourself and your closest allies. The greatest hurdle to mastering power is not other people. It is your own internal urge to be understood. In psychology, there is a powerful drive to seek relief through confession. When you carry a secret, a dark ambition, or a ruthless strategy, it creates a form of internal tension. Your ego wants to release this tension by telling someone. You want to hear the words, "I understand you," or you are right to feel that way. But you must realize that this relief is a trap. The moment you confess to someone, you have traded your psychological sovereignty for a fleeting moment of comfort. You have given them a piece of your fortress. To become an architect of your own reality, you must build an emotional firewall. This is the ability to sit with your truths, your plans, and your darker thoughts without the need to share them. Most men in the 25-40 age bracket are emotionally leaky. They feel a constant pressure to explain themselves, to justify their actions to their wives, their parents, or their friends. They think this builds intimacy. In reality, it destroys their mystery and their authority. Machiavelli lived in a world of constant betrayal. He knew that the only person who can truly keep a secret is the person who doesn't feel the need to tell it. To master the invisible mask, you must learn to find validation from within. If you have achieved a major victory in secret, let the results be your satisfaction. Do not run to your social circle to brag. If you are struggling with a difficult strategic decision, do not seek advice from people who do not have your skin in the game. Instead, adopt a strategic filter. Before any piece of information leaves your mouth, ask yourself 3 cold questions. Does this person need to know this to help me achieve my goal? If this person becomes my enemy tomorrow, can they use this information against me? Am I saying this because it serves my strategy or because my ego wants relief? If the answer to the first is no, or the second and third are yes, you must remain silent. This silence is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate sign of strength. It shows that you have total self-mastery. When people realize they cannot provoke an emotional confession out of you, they stop trying to manipulate you. You become a black box. They see the input and the output, but the internal mechanics of your mind remain entirely your own. This is the path to becoming an enigma. When you interact with your family or friends, offer them a sanitized truth. Give them the high-level summary, the boring details, the safe version of your life. Keep the raw data for yourself, your journals, or your professional mentors. By stripping others of your pain and your plans, you strip them of their power over you. You are no longer a child seeking a parent's approval. You are a sovereign entity, ruling a kingdom of one, wearing a mask that no one can penetrate. We have dismantled the greatest myth of your upbringing. You now understand that honesty is not a bridge. It is often a breach in your own defenses. You have seen how the invisible mask protects you in the workplace, shields you from the envy of your social circle, and preserves your psychological sovereignty. But there is one final, uncomfortable truth you must accept. To live this way is to be fundamentally alone. Most people cannot handle the weight of the mask. They are addicted to the warmth of being known. They want to be seen, understood, and hugged by the world. They would rather be a transparent victim than a cryptic victor. They call their lack of discipline authenticity, and their lack of boundaries vulnerability. You are no longer one of them. By choosing the path of the architect, you are accepting that there will always be a gap between who you are and what the world sees. This gap is where your power lies. It is the dead zone, where your rivals get lost. It is the silence that makes people lean in when you speak. Machiavelli didn't want you to be a monster. He wanted you to be a survivor in a world of predators. He knew that the only way to truly protect the things you love, your family, your empire, your peace, is to never let the world see where the foundation is buried. The invisible mask is not a tool of evil. It is a tool of freedom. When you stop being honest with everyone, you finally have the energy to be honest with yourself. You stop performing for the crowd and start executing for the objective. You realize that you don't need the world to agree with your methods. You only need the world to live with your results. As you move forward, remember, a person who cannot be decoded cannot be defeated. When you sit at the dinner table tonight, or when you walk into your office tomorrow, do not feel the need to announce your new mindset. Do not try to explain this philosophy to those who aren't ready to hear it. Just wear the mask. Smile at the trivialities. Offer the decoy truths. Be the most polite, honest, and helpful person in the room, while your true self remains miles away, calculating, building, and expanding. The world is a stage, and most people are just actors following a script they didn't write. You are now the director. You decide which scenes are public and which are kept behind the curtain. You are the only person who needs to know the full story of your life. Let them have the illusion of you. You keep the power. This is the end of the beginning. You have the blueprint. You have the rules. Now the only question that remains is, do you have the discipline to stay behind the mask, or will you let the world bleed you dry one honest confession at a time? The choice, as always, is yours. But remember, the mask only works if you never take it off in public. Master the riddle. Become the architect.